You've talked about $4 billion a day being saved, but that won't get, which is, and I think everyone can agree that combating waste and inefficiency in government is a very good thing. But if you add that up, it's not going to get to 2 trillion over the lifetime of DOGE.
I'm sorry.
The 4 billion a day, if DOGE is going to run till next July, is not going to get you to $2 trillion. But you still say it's your aim, so we'll take that as read.
There's more DOGE. I mean, I feel you're somewhat trapped in the NPC dialogue tree of a traditional journalist. So it's difficult when I'm conversing with someone who's trapped in the dialogue tree of a conventional journalist, because it's like talking to a computer.
Yeah, I think the interview probably wishes she was talking to a computer rather than to Elon Musk, but that's unfortunately who she was stuck with right there, because she's just laying out, you've said certain things, even with your own math, it's never gonna add up to what you said you were gonna do. And he doesn't have anything substantive to say to that. He has no answer when it comes to doggy's cuts that are gonna make him look good or rational or intelligent. So instead, what does he do? He just does what he sees on Twitter. You're an NPC. You're a computer, you're in a dialogue. Dude, you're literally in the middle of evading a question. I wish that was part of the dialogue tree. Honesty, forthrightness, being direct, being transparent. It would be great if those were one of the options, but unfortunately it's not. And it's not just Elon Musk that's not being transparent about all of this. Even his position as the head of Doggy, they keep saying he is, but when it matters legally, all of a sudden, they're pretending that that's not the case. So we have an emergency action filed with the Supreme Court. It has to do with producing documents requested by Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington into what's been going on with Doggy. And in it, DOGE is argued to be just an advisory group, not an actual federal agency. And also Musk, government lawyers say, is not a part of it. Now, originally they said, well, he's not the head of it, even though he is the head of it. Now they're saying he's not even a part of it. And so, wait, why is he answering questions at these interviews? Why is he doing these appearances if he has nothing to do with it? Again, the dishonesty is just so constant. And I think part of that does get into why he was never gonna last that long in government. He's so bad at doing the lying. He's so uncharismatic. He's so obviously dishonest. But legally, it could end up coming back to bite him. Now, we'll get into the fallout between Musk and Trump in a little bit, but this could be the waning days of his involvement with Doggy, which he is still involved in, regardless of what government lawyers say. But Daria, what do you make of what you saw?
Definitely, and it's interesting the way that he's trying to sort of frame his departure as a sort of eventual triumph rather than a retreat, where it's clear that they just don't like him anymore. And one thing he said, DOGE is a way of life like Buddhism. Buddha isn't alive anymore, and you wouldn't ask the question, who led Buddhism? So it's like, are you comparing yourself to Buddha, the person who has been firing federal workers and completely dismantling ways of life and aid for like citizens? Is that what Buddha would do? Yeah, it's just a lot of delusion.
Yeah, she can only say so much in one interview. She can only ask so many questions, and she's focusing on sort of the top line figure. You've made these lofty promises about how much you're gonna cut, and it's not gonna happen. And he can't accept that, even though he kept cutting down how much he was estimating he will be able to cut. But if you actually did a post-mortem or a mid-mortem on Doggy, what would you have? He came in, he cut a bunch of stuff that has to do with groups that he doesn't like. And so he saved us $20,000 on a gay comic book here, $40,000 on a trans opera there or whatever, which adds up to literally nothing when it comes to the federal government. So he did a bunch of that. Any group that's composed of people that make him uncomfortable or whatever, they don't get funding anymore. So he did that, he succeeded in that. Let's see, he made Social Security not work as well. He stole Social Security money from a bunch of people that deserved to get it by saying that they were dead when they weren't. He so fundamentally misunderstood how government computers work that he kept spreading these conspiracy theories that 150-year-olds are getting benefits when that's not at all how that works. He hasn't generated the actual savings. He's imperiled the ability of many government agencies to work by firing people that we need to do work, like tracking diseases, bird flu, those sorts of things. He's made it significantly harder for America to exercise literally any soft power around the globe. And thanks to a lot of the cuts that he did and then had to roll back, might have ended up costing the US government money rather than actually saving it, even as he takes away programs that people depend on. And so she can't go through all of that, let alone all the other things that have been accomplished there. But just like the answer to all of that, your utter inadequacy, the failures, is not you're an NPC, you're an egg. But this is what brain rot is. He spends so much time on Twitter that that's the only way he knows how to communicate.